and welcome to another episode of Monday Night MegaMek. Trying to do a louder musical intro here, but it might have been a little too loud. I was looking up earlier this week of sort of apps and plugins that could let me sort of do a more smooth and sort of automatic volume adjustment entry. I didn't like how I love that song as my entry into Monday Night MegaMek. Didn't like it how it was still on that very low setting to begin with. Quite a jam. So welcome and hello everybody. I am a little bit later than I would have liked. Just a long day, beautiful weather, long walk with the wonderful Cheddar, who is my lovely little sometimes co-host, sometimes lapdog, always wonderful little creature. She is diabetic, but she's also very stubborn and sometimes refuses to eat. She decided to finally eat her dinner 5 minutes before the record. When she eats, I have to give her insulin. So, she's been a little stubborn. And when she gets her insulin, she gets a cookie, and she knows that word. So she was very insistent to get it. If you are listening, please let me know what you think the volume is, if the music is too loud, the music is too soft, how my voice is coming in, because things have been adjusted. Now, last time on Monday Night MegaMek, let me go to all chat here. Last time on Monday Night MegaMek, we had a convoy escort mission, but before we played our one game, we went through and we took a look at some of our MegaMek settings. We had a event happen where a person wanted to join our mercenary company. His codename Winch made some very bold promises as part of his pitch to join our company, which obviously we weren't sort of expecting him to do, to fulfill. And then very first mission, convoy escort, Winch just kicked butt. Dude got behind every foe, had mech warrior aim. We were sitting there, come on, man, can you hit the rear torso? And he did. While at the same time, multiple other pilots, regular pilots on our force, just struggled. They could not land hits. We're talking turn after turn after turn of 3 PPCs, all on 50, all on 40%, whiffing every single time. It was quite frustrating. So we actually immediately promoted Winch into corporal. So we were very excited to get a capable person on our hands. That said, we are going to pop right into Mech HQ here. Oh, Cheddar seems to have abandoned me. From the last time I looked over my shoulder, she was just immediately on her little dog bed over there. Now she is gone. But no worries. She will make it known when she needs walkies, probably at the worst possible time. So at the end of the last mission, we did go through, we did some of the repairs. You can see our Awesomes and our Phoenix Hawk are having some issues. Our Marauder is here because we are lacking ammo, but that is okay because it still has PPCs. We have a frontline breakthrough mission here, and we are sending our command lance. A reminder here, we are the Emerald Cast Mercenary Company. We are a small little mercenary group operating in 3027, led by a secret clan Falcon watch agent who is here after loss of communications with the Wolf's Dragoons, trying to do a smaller operation to gain some information about the Inner Sphere and send it out. Our goal is to complete a veteran or higher contract with every single great house. Extra bonus super points if we can fight the Wolf's Dragoons and win. And since we have a frontline breakthrough all ready to go, we are just going to pop right in. Very important thing about MegaMek. If your commander, the person heading out here, so not just your overall commander, but the person in charge of the Lancer sending on a mission, has, I believe, the tactics skill, you can re-roll certain aspects of the engagement, such as the map here, the size, the condition, the light, the weather. We are not overly opposed to light snowfall, wooded valley snow. We are fine with this. We like daylight. We don't have to worry about a lot of stuff. So we are going to jump right into a game here. You are tasked with penetrating the enemy's main battle line and advancing beyond their position. The enemy has committed significant forces to this sector, making this a high-risk operation. Your primary objective is to reach the far edge of the engagement zone with at least 50% of your forces intact. If direct passage is impossible, an alternate path to victory is available, routing the enemy by destroying at least 50% of their forces. Excuse me. Expect heavy resistance as the enemy will not yield ground easily. Their forces are well positioned to block your advance, and delaying tactics may be used to slow you down. Speed, decisive strikes, and tactical maneuvering will be key to achieving your objective. If you can break their formation or force them into disarray, the path forward will open. The enemy will control the battlefield once the engagement concludes, preventing any opportunity for salvage or recovery. This is a mission of mobility and force. Break through or break them. There is no room for hesitation. And there is an enemy spaceport on the map that they are, possibly that is our objective in the objective right here. And that is allowing them to deploy a larger force, and we have an integrated force here. So, fantastic. I'm going to put up the load screen. And wait for MegaMek to launch. Sometimes takes a minute. I know I hit all the right buttons. Yeah, Mech HTO. So it's not opening. It hasn't launched yet. Sometimes it takes a second. Like, I can click start game and nothing's happening. So, I love MegaMek. It's a fantastic free game that lets you play, BattleTech. Lets you play the board game BattleTech constantly in big, giant environments that you would not ever want to play in person. And sometimes it does these things like tries to start up and fails, like right now. So, like, I can't click start, I can't scroll here. We might be looking at a reload and restart, but I'm going to put up the pause screen again and see if there's a pop-up or something I missed. The answer is no. As far as I can tell, nothing happened. So, yeah, we are just going to there it is. Now it's saying disconnected all of a sudden. Let's try this again. Commence drop. Okay. Alright, it's working now. So, yay. Sometimes it takes a second. Alright, so we have our allies here. Scepter, no name. We do have a guy here with an SPA, which is Zweihander. Very good. He's going to be good at melee. So, fantastic. We are just trying to get across the map. Snow is normally not good for that, but we can go through and do certain things and abuse the AI. So let's hit I'm done and go. Alright, so because this is our unit design... Oh no, this map is awful. I think we have... Alright, we have one solid path along this edge. Yeah, so as usual, the right and left side, very edge, are basically our main paths forward. We have this one on the left, which ends in the depth 1, has lots of woods and things that we can potentially use to block line of sight. Tons of woods over here. Lots of woods here. That's going to be difficult for the longbow to walk through. What's the other side? We have rough, we have woods. This is actually going to be a lot easier for a longbow to go through, but the problem is most of our enemies are probably going to be deploying right in this area, which means we're going to have to walk through their nest to make it through. So in such a case, I do think it's going to be a whole lot easier to try to walk across on the left side here. We might be forced into just trying to kill everything. Kill everybody, kill everything, you know. force our way through with sheer firepower, which I still think this is the best way to go. This would be, I think, potentially more open in terms of line of sight and engagement, but again, my guess is if you look, there's not a lot of area over here to deploy. There's not a lot of area over here to deploy. Our enemy is pretty much just going to be in this area, in which case this is definitely going to be the better. So now, as a frontline unit, you can assign each of your lances of a specific role: frontline, auxiliary, reserve, patrol. And as a frontline unit, it gives you the ability to drop mines, drop a little minefield in. And I choose not to use that because it doesn't, like, in terms of gameplay, maybe that's the point, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, maybe all of a sudden they have a bomber come through and drop points of artillery, or it's a form of thunder munitions of some kind, but I just kind of skip it because, yeah, whatever. Alright, round phase. We rolled a 1, they rolled an 8, so we lost. And the most important thing is our slowest unit, which is the longbow piloted by Edith. And we're gonna plop Edith. So lots of woods, lots of trees. We might actually be better off placing her here and trying to go diagonally rather than try to go through all of this garbage. So yeah, actually here, because this is 2 level changes in a turn. This is a level change and trees and going over, so that's gonna be the best spot for her. All right, everybody else doesn't matter all that much because they're significantly faster, and it's gonna be the slowest person, you know, who keeps us potentially not going anywhere. And we have the special jumping Ostrog for hopscotch. Jump is gonna be fantastic here, and just going to ignore terrain. Boom. Alright, deployment, we win. First turn, and okay. So they don't deploy on the edge, they deploy in the middle, which doesn't really change the plan of action here, because they'd still have better access to us over on the right than they do on the left with all this water in the way. So now, yeah, okay, so the snow isn't affecting our movement, but we just have limited movement. Sprint is on, but we have PPC, so Ergun, you go there. Hopscotch, jump! We want you to jump. Everything's level 0 terrain, so there's not much of a chance that landing here will give us partial cover. And she's got PPCs and medium lasers, so I think we are actually going to have her go there just in case. Plus, it's a little bit closer. Longbow, we want you to go there. And Gordana Banana. And they did make the mistake of being in line of sight. So this, on the enemy forces here, we have Black Swan in a Hunchback. Now this is the AC-20 Hunchback, so it's going to suck if they get close, but there's a river in the way, though, so they're probably not going to get that all close. We have a generic Archer. We have Rumble in a Griffin. Stalker, Trebuchet, Crab, Crusader, nothing particularly noteworthy. And no one else with a call sign. So the call sign of Black Swan, the call sign tells me that they have increased skill, so 3-4. A 3-4 AC-20 is definitely the scariest thing on the opponent's forces right now. Griffin, the Griffin Rumble, is a 3-4, so that is not actually particularly scary. It's just this AC-20 that we need to get rid of, so we are shooting at it. And you know, we are going to shoot at it with a solid slug. So we're going to try to get 30 damage into it right off the bat. Gordana Banana, you also have a PPC. Let's switch the order of weapons by range. So PPC on 9, but that's not going to overheat you, so we're good with that. Ostrak, also with the PPC. Most everybody has a PPC except for the longbow. We've modified things slightly because this is intro tech, and PPCs are definitely the second best gun in intro tech. The best is the medium laser. Even into later eras, it's hard to beat the medium laser for just sheer destructiveness. But we have 2 LRM-20s to send and hopefully hit some open spaces caused by the PPCs. So that's everybody. And we're going to see what happens here. Black Swan does get the AC-20 off, needing a 20 on an ally. Misses. Air gun hits with 1 gun. Misses with the other 2. Gordana Banana misses. Hopscotch hits. That's 20 damage. That's a possible PSR right there. Their enemy archer is shooting. Not much of anything else to report at the moment. Enemy Crusader does hit Gordana with an LRM-15. So Crusader on Crusader violence, but we can take it for the moment. Alright, Edith and the longbow hits with one of the LRM-20s into Black Swan, the Hunchback, for a total of 12 damage. That's pretty average. And they do succeed on the pilings roll, so they don't fall. Altogether, not a consequential turn. We dealt more damage than received. We are fighting a light SO, which means our heat is more efficient. You'll see this. Everybody subtracts 1 extra heat at the end here. Now, we are just trying to get across the map. We are not necessarily required to engage with our foes, so gonna move the slower people first. Hopscotch, you can just jump wherever you want. You know what? Let's take a little primer here. Let's take a little moment to review. Alright, so we have Sherry here and her personality. Sherry doesn't just take charge, she demands it. Every situation must unfold according to her design, and she has little patience for anyone who questions her authority. Sherry builds her life on lies, and she's good at it. False identities, rigged contracts, and backroom deals are just part of the game she plays. The real trick isn't just fooling people, it's making sure they never realize they've been fooled at all. People trust Sherry because they know she's real. She doesn't put on a facade or tell people what they want to hear, she tells them what they need to hear. Her sincerity makes her a reliable friend and an unwavering... So she's sincere and a liar. Seems weirdly contradictory, but... whether she's gunning down enemy infantry, dodging PPC blasts, or lighting up a shot, Sherry's always got her smirk and a fresh stick of gum. She pops it in like a pre-battle ritual as to say, this is just another day at the office. And honestly, she fights like she believes it. So she's chewing gum right now. That's an interesting thing to remember. So she is, in fact, chewing gum right at this moment. She is calm. She is manipulative, but she's sincerely manipulative, I guess. I don't know. But that tells me, like, I'm feeling like, all right, she's gonna jump right there. She's confident. She's gonna get in the thick of things. Their gun definitely wants to get shots on Black Swan. He does not like enemy PPCs in his area of operations, but I don't think he's gonna have line of sight. So height 0, is mech. Line of sight blocked by wood. So at least controls are customizable. Controls can be different, but for me, I've got a middle mouse button that I can click on 2 hexes that draws this line here, and it pops up this display that you can adjust to tell you line of sight. Line of sight blocked by wood. So your gun, I think, has very limited options. Yeah, he's not going to be able to shoot at Black Swan. So let's just make the most progress possible and do that. Alright, that's everybody. And air gun has no shots anywhere. However, I do think we are going to take advantage of an optional reset, which is we can start fires. And so he is going to shoot at those woods and try to start a fire, a smoke cloud that will get in the way of these shots on us as soon as we get into this position. Sherry does have a whole bunch of shots on the scary AC-20 person, so that's what she's going to do. And she has jump jet, so even if she overheats, she can jump out. Bam! Alpha strike. Gordana. No shots on Black Swan, but does have a shot on this archer with a PPC, so that's what we're going to do there. And last but not least, Edith in the longbow. Edith has one shot on this archer, but not in the front arc, only on the right arc. That's on 8s. We're going to do it. Done. And let's see what happens. Alright, sadly, Hopscotch does get hit by the AC-20. He needs it. Our opponent needed a 10, rolls a 12, hits the left leg, 0 armor remaining. So, Hopscotch, you need your legs to get out of here. So, you're probably just, you know, not going to do much of anything. Yeah. Alright. Irgun needs a 12. Oh, plus 5 conditions. Yeah. Needs a 12 to start a fire. So, we're not going to be able to start a fire. Got it. Ace-10 Hunchback. Alright, Hopscotch does hit with a return fire PPC. Gets into the arm, but the arms really don't have much going on the Hunchback, so that's kind of unimportant. We have a hit for a total of 10, 15, 20, 25 damage. So on net, we dealt more damage to that Hunchback than received. However, 20 damage to a single location is kind of better than 25 damage spread all around the mech. I don't know how many of you listen to the Odysseus Legion podcast, but I've discussed there on many occasions what I call the mech dichotomy, which is mechs are either made of balsa wood or titanium, and there's almost never anything in between. A lot of that has to do with damage distribution, right? If you spread 10 damage across a mech, it's going to survive. If you put that 10 damage only into one location over and again, it's going to start wearing things down, because once you get to into the internals, that's when mechs collapse. That's when mechs can explode to ammo explosions, lose gyros, all kinds of nasty things. It is a new turn. We're going to move the longbow first, because that is the important thing to try to get into a position here. We could actually sprint it there. And yes, we're going to do that. We're going to sprint it ahead, because I think getting into that rough and being able to turn and go forward and avoid those woods is definitely going to be preferable to something else. Gordana Banana. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Right there as well. Hopscotch, you're going to want to jump. And you're going to want to jump to get away, possibly, from another potential hit from an AC-20. Let's double check something here. Right leg heat sink, left leg heat sink. You do not have jump jets on your legs, which means you should be perfectly safe to jump in that water right there. Let's hold the mouse over it, make sure it doesn't have ice, because this is frozen conditions, and landing in water, easy. Landing on ice that then breaks, then dumps you into the water, very bad. Particularly because, oh, never mind. We have stripped armor on our left leg, which means if we land in the water, that leg is going to be flooded and be instantly destroyed. So, yeah, let's not suicide dive into water. Let's land here. That'll put this heavy woods between the Hunchback and us. That's going to be the best move. And last but not least, Irgun, who will have sight on Black Swan for that position to fire. All right. Speaking of, yeah, we're going to do that same thing. Hopscotch, you've built up a bunch of heat from alpha striking last turn, so you're not going to fire. We're worried about you. Gordana Banana, PPC, into the Hunchback. And Edith sprinted so she can't fire. Alright, we have a hunch. AC-20, speaking of Edith, AC-20 Edith misses. Hit with a single medium laser. We're okay with that. Nobody else shooting at us. Our gun hits with 2 PPCs, not the solid shot. That's okay. That is 20 damage. That's enough for PSR. We'll see if they fall over. And that's it. And they succeed. They needed a 5. They roll 5. Got some physical attacks happening here. We don't care about our allies. Our allies die. We don't have to repair them. And they're just sort of freeform jobbers. Alright, we're at 98. They're at 96. This looks like this is going to be a we're going to get out of here type of mission. So, like, yeah. Sherry Hopscotch, we can wait on you to figure out where you're going to go. Longbow's the most important. You can end up there. I want to see if you can go that way. Yeah, we actually want you this. Yeah, that's what we want. So, boom. Gordana banana. Sprint forward there. Alright, next is Ergun, who we do want to be able to shoot. Move there, line of sight there. That's fantastic. We'll do that. And Hopscotch, again, injured leg. We're not going to put you into risk of damage to that, because again, we need her to get out, and she's not going to be able to get out if her leg is hurt. Although there is an allied Shadowhawk suicide diving right into the fray. So we're going to be alright. We don't need to spend more ammo. We'll overheat a little, we'll fire double medium lasers. We'll cool off a little bit of extra because of the cold. Hopscotch, I thought I had you face the opposite direction. So now you can't shoot. So never mind. Longbow sprinted, so can't shoot. And Gordana Banana, you do have a PPC to shoot at that Hunchback, as well as, you know what? Let's also fire the SRMs. See if there's any open spaces. Here we go. Yep, like I said, AC-20 hits that Shadowhawk. That's nasty. They got an engine hit. Engine hits are really bad on intro tech when you've got single heat sinks. There we go. Left arm destroyed. Go again to the left torso. Opens it up. 2 PPCs. And a medium laser hit, but only in the right arm. So we're kind of spreading damage all around that Hunchback, and the Hunchbacks have a lot of armor from the front. Not the most armor from the back, which is always kind of funny. Alright, Gordana misses with her PPC. One of the SRMs does hit with one of the SRMs, but doesn't get anywhere important with it. Alright. And... Really? Really? That Shadowhawk, the suicide dive forward, gets the nasty damage. Yeah, auto eject. Okay, yeah, gets the kill. Look at all that. Look at all that nastiness. That is a chain reaction critical on the left torso where there's ammo. So we did all the damage, they get the kill. Lovely. Boo. I mean, it's nice that it's dead. It's the only scary thing they have. So, honestly, this is the point where, yes, we might take a little bit of extra damage. I'm probably going to give us one more turn, because once we get into this area and all these woods, they are not going to be able to shoot at us at all. So as soon as the longbow gets over here next turn, I'm just going to hit slash victory, so we don't have to sit through here and watch me do turn after turn of walking through woods and water, because that's not exciting for anybody. That's not exciting for me. Your gun. Yeah, you're gonna get one more turn of shooting. You can even backwards walk out of here at this point. Hopscotch. I mean, you by default with your jump, you're just gonna make it out, so no worries. And Gordana. So basically, as long as nobody gets a random leg critical from a stray shot this turn, I mean, look at this. We're in long range of PPCs. PPCs are a long range gun. I'm shooting 2 hit on 13, and this guy's got some good gunnery. 10, boom. Oh, hit the wrong button. Fire. There we go. $13. Nope. Longbow. We've got 9s. Do we want to waste ammo on this? No, we don't. Skip. Yeah, see what happens. We take no damage. We're gonna make it out. I'm hitting slash victory because we do not need the slog of finding our way through all that water and whatnot. So victory, yay! Boop. And I am going to save. Here we go. Play the GIF. You don't need to see the files on my computer. Oh, that's not what you want. You want Monday Night MegaMek. Boom. Yep. Campaign, Monday Night MegaMek. Done. Alright, make HQ. So it said in the initial prompt that they always retain control, and we didn't do anything heroic or remarkable that would change that. So they control the field. No salvage for us, but everybody's virtually untouched. Next. Virtually untouched. Next. Hunchback claimed by, yeah, we know it wasn't us. That's the sad part. Yes. There we go. Finish. Alright. Go to the briefing room. So here's victory points, 3 out of 2. I think that means you can end the contract, end the contract early. Now, down here on the bottom are a bunch of buttons for interesting sort of fill-in information. Let's see what it says. Bloodmark, capital systems, changing of the combat forces, combat roles, combat teams, complete mission guidance, connections, contract challenge, contract victory points. Scenario victory points. So contract victory points versus scenario victory points. Start victory points determine the outcome in individual scenario. A negative SB results in defeat. Yeah, contract victory points. Yep. What's it say about ending a contract? All right. Contracts, yada yada. Maybe that's just what we need here. Victory points 3 out of 2. Support points 4. Because for an objective raid, sometimes if I know that we've attacked the objective, I end the mission early. Because even if the contract extends out further, I just sort of end it. I don't think we've done anything that would warrant ending the contract early. So what we have here is just advancing days into the next mission, double checking a repair bay, ordering missing parts. And going on up. The winter holidays is coming up and the unit's already putting plans in motion. The 5th night bonfire is officially a big deal. There's talk of incorporating choreography into the symbolic fight. I'm not sure who started that idea, but I'm guessing flashbacks to interpretive dance night. I've already seen one homemade costume and it's creative. The 11th night will have the usual bonfire, gift swap, and food. We're aiming for something more festive than usual ration-based meals. If you have any creative ideas or want to veto the costume idea, let me know. So some role-playing ideas here. Sounds great. Looking forward to seeing how it turns out. Not really. I'm not sure this best use for time. Not really. And why wasting time on this nonsense? So interestingly enough, if we remember, our gun is a clan agent, a clan person who's not necessarily that familiar with the practice of the Inner Sphere. However, clans do actually celebrate holidays and really like them. There's a bunch of ones including like, you know, the Kerensky's birthday, Exodus Day, all these other things. It's in Clans Warriors of Kerensky, which is a book written by Mr. Wolf, as I call him, which is Phelan Wolf. Phelan, or originally Phelan Kell. Phelan means wolf, and he was captured by Clan Wolf, and when he became a warrior, he was sort of given the generic name Wolf at some point, or he took the name Wolf. So at one point he was Phelan Wolf, which is Wolf. You know, like, I have read a lot of Michael Stackpole's books. I really appreciate his as an author. I think some of his early works, his independent things he's created, are absolutely fantastic. But there are definitely parts of the BattleTech as just sort of genre fiction that are kind of silly. I don't take particularly seriously. Again, Mr. Wolf, and Clans Warriors of Kerensky, the source book, is written in universe from the perspective of Mr. Wolf, and it's kind of interesting. I love how some of the source books are written from an in-universe perspective, so you can kind of assume them as a bit of an unreliable narrator, because obviously, you know, as an intersphere transplant into clan society who eventually becomes Khan of that society, he has an interesting perspective, but also a bias. He wants to portray the clans as better than they are, or whatnot by comparison. So now, I don't think everyone would want to see the costumes. He wouldn't say they're wasting their time, because the clans. I'll do it. Does his wolf at the night with the wolf? Yeah. I don't know. Does his wolf at night with the wolf? Alright. And yeah, it's the costume part that makes me think Ergun would say he's not sure it's the best use of our time. But there we go. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that would make it more kind of stereotypical kind of genre fiction-y is if Wolf had a wolf. I don't remember what mech he pilots. It might actually end up being a timber wolf, in which case Mr. Wolf is a timber wolf fighting for Clan Wolf and leader of Clan Wolf. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm much obviously, if you can't tell from the green and the logos and everything else, I'm a Clan Jade Falcon stan, and I love the fact that their main book, their main introduction, their main sort of legendary hero, spoiler, dies at the end of his trilogy and doesn't have to continue on in this weird, you know, ridiculous hero plot, you know? But in any case, we need to advance time to see repairs start to happen. Not enough armor remaining, task suspended. We need armor. Do we have any mechs we can strip for armor? No, but we have a lot of stuff that's damaged. We have an inoperable Warhammer. We have an undamaged Victor. I think the Victor we were holding in reserve for Hopscotch, for Sherry at some point. We have a backup Marauder that we could strip for parts. Like, how bad are we in terms of needing stuff, right? So, armor, ammo we can't replace, armor. Yeah, one missing, one not available. Ammo. Check the warehouse. We are in need of armor. We're towards the beginning of the month, so I don't think we're getting a convoy escort here. Yeah, next check 1 day, target 4+. Let's see if we procure armor before our next mission. Disgusting. Clan Deus Ex Machina Sea Fox forever. Yeah. No, I have to say, the clans exist in this interesting space where their ability to exist as warriors really depends on the perspective of the heroes of the book. If the clans are the heroes, they are adaptable to their sense of honor and sort of, you know, noble warriors in a sense. If the book is from the Inner Sphere perspective, the clans are stubborn, pig-headed, you know, backward sort of thing, like unintelligent warriors who expect you to adhere to their beliefs without regard and will not change their perspective and can easily be abused in that sense. You know, and then you have, again, wolves who will lose, but lose in a way that makes them win in such an interesting space. Anyway, yeah. You know, sea foxes have problems recently. I haven't caught up with a lot of the more recent novels other than Surprise, the Green Bird novels. I was kind of forced just in terms of learning about the Star League into reading a Clan Wolf novel, whatever that one was. And oh yeah, because I think it was written by an author I like, and it was okay. It was weird having the same sort of super ridiculous like hero character come out of nowhere and do stuff. Didn't particularly like that, but you know, it's genre fiction. You enjoy it. You don't. It's not like a literary masterpiece. Anyway, we need armor. Are we gonna get the armor? Found 5 times of delivery in 22 days. Okay, we cannot wait that long. So we are going to strip this extra Marauder for parts. I don't think we have anything else to strip for armor. So that's what's going to happen. Let's go here. We are going to manually do this to make sure our more important people get the stuff. Salvage all of this armor. This is 120 minutes from you. Done. And 6. Do it. Do it. Armor. You. Do it. Here we go. We have more armor to strip. You. Do it. There we go. More armor. You. Armor. You. Take it. Take the armor off. Alright. All the armor's gone. Right, yep, all the armor's gone, so let's heal up our main force here. So, no. Longbow, yes. Replace armor. You do it. Ostrock. You do it. Great. We have our awesome Crusader here. It's 45 minutes. You've got playing time. Target number 4. Great. So that should mean our main group, our sort of command lance, now has armor. Look at that. Fantastic. And that's being worked on. Let's instant. There we go. Unavailable. Fantastic. So now we are... What did you miss? We had a mission where we had to walk across the map, and we kind of got to a point where they couldn't catch us as we walked across the map. Nothing particularly exciting so far. You did hear me rant about Clan Wolf, or you missed me ranting about Clan Wolf. So, long story short, I'm not a big fan of Clan Wolf, and Mr. Wolf Phelan Wolf / Phelan Kell / Phelan Ward. We are just hitting days until we get the next mission. Now the contract does end on 2/22, and we are December. We are still a couple months away from this contract actually ending. Oh yeah, a BattleMech recovery vehicle has been delivered. So, tanks. Hey, we can add that to... There we go. It's mothballed because it just arrived. What is our convoy looking like? 200 tons. Let's go look at the unit here. You 3 tons. You 10 tons. You have 40 tons. Okay, we have plenty of space in our convoy. We are not worried whatsoever. We basically have that as backup. Alright. Frontline disruption 3 days. Let's take a look at that. This is... Your mission is disrupted advance by preventing at least 50 forces from reaching the opposite edge. Okay, so this is a heavy combat mission. We will control the battlefield. All right, so that means we are going to want to deploy our command lance. Liberating of the clans. They suck, right? Not all clans suck. They need to be integrated after Ill Clan era ends. Keeping them separate is bad storytelling. All right, let's confirm all this, yada yada. So all right, and then Altizia 3810. We shot Wolf on sight in this house. We shoot Wolf on sight in this household. Yeah. So when it comes to the clans, right? I think there is kind of, because of the fictional sort of like, you know, schlock fiction kind of sense that BattleTech exists in. So I'm not the person who will sit here and tell you like long histories of in-universe kind of conversations about actual military histories, and you know, well, they had these units here and all of this these other things. So it's like, no, BattleTech is a fiction. Clans existed as sort of an antagonist, noble opposition, things that are, you know, acted as a inverse force, inverse kind of to the inner sphere, so you have an interesting dichotomy of actions. I think as a narrative purpose existing universe, the clans are great. I think currently the way that the clans have existed in the inner sphere means that there should really be some interesting conversations about sociology around sort of how the clans as such a devout society would manage to interact within the inner sphere, and what kind of pockets and interesting things that they have. But I think, first of all, there seems to be a secret rule that is you don't talk too much about how clan society actually operates, because there is kind of like a fascist tendency, eugenics kind of tendency that could take dark routes or sort of non-realistic routes. As how do these warriors that make up like 0.5 or less percent of the population, clan tech shouldn't be a thing anymore, just tech. So inner sphere is no longer clan tech in the sense of it's always manufactured by the clans. It's clan tech in the sense of it's clan spec. There are lots of facilities throughout the inner sphere that are making clan spec equipment. That, you know, there are inner sphere forces that are making clan mechs. If you look at sort of like their mall distribution that they have them, there's just less production. You know, it's not clan tech, it's clan spec, when the clans are just generally better to that because they have the forward. So, but when it comes to the clans and their integration of the inner sphere, you know, I've written a short story, submitted it, and there's some conversations and things. But I personally think that like Ghost Bear is somewhat interesting as sort of like a joint society separation between the clans, you know, the Ghost Bears and the standard inner sphere. I do think that there would be should be more conversations about just the fact that, I mean, even when you're playing on MegaMek and you're operating as a clan, Trueborns only exist as warriors. They don't exist in other aspects of the society. Just the fact that the majority of Trueborns that are born flunk out of warrior training and enter into clan society. And the fact that those people would exist as diehard fanatics, as sort of, and I'll say even among clan before interacting with the inner sphere, some clan were a lot less warrior centered. I like them, and after the invasion, they have a good bit of mixing in an okay society. Yeah, I just think Clan Jade Falcon, as it's being written, sort of the remnants of the Falcons written by, oh, I should remember his name. I like what he's doing, but what they're doing with them, kind of talking a little bit about software integration of the lower caste in society, I think that's interesting. I do think there would be sort of a primary and secondary sort of class system, not even just like caste system, but a class system where members of the clans would exist as a sort of like administrative hierarchy that oversees sort of the non-clan members, and there'd be sort of some kind of advanced interactions. But like what they really need to do is hire a sociologist. I know CGL does not have a lot of actual spendable capital on things like that, but they need someone with more of a comprehensive understanding of sociology to come in and really ramp up the concepts and ideas of things that are going on. in these things. I think, interplanetary sort of like the way things would develop, there'd be a lot more interesting slang and keywords on individual basis. I think they could really play up some of the cultural dynamics between worlds, yada yada yada. Like there's so much more they could do to advance the overall comprehension, the overall sophistication of the universe as a narrative structure. But it's Pulp Fiction, it's in universe kind of cool stuff. So I think there's a certain aspect of taking it too seriously in terms of the world building like that might take away from the fact that it's a game with giant robots shooting at each other. So it's I love this universe. I've been in love with it since I was a child, and while I have very strong opinions, full armor bearer, I mean, clanner speak is just modified radio conversation. Yeah, or there's the fact that they talk about how clan warriors, while talking in a person to person basis, will avoid using contractions, will use sort of, and will use their sort of, hodgepodge clan words that aren't contractions, they're words, but while they are engaging in combat, they will constantly use slang. They will end up using contractions just because it's faster than using the full phrases in when you need to speak fast. So, full armor bear, where things like Wilco and Kanto are words used in comms. Yeah, cleaner speak are full of contractions. Yeah, contractions, but also not like it's combination words, conjunctions. I need to hit the advanced day button here. You guys, oh yeah, frontline disruption. We do have a mission. We are sending our main guys in it. Getting me distracted from the game. Before the blackout, the idea of slang per planet isn't really necessary, but after the blackout, it could be an interesting concept. Yeah. I mean, even before the blackout, because while HPZs existed for communication, it was basically dial-up. You had planet to planet dial-up. And there wasn't a lot of communication happening that wasn't sort of government, that wasn't official, that wasn't business. Like the day-to-day individual people didn't communicate cross-planet all that much, besides like major, broad, probably maybe not all that much like news kind of, outside of the clans, the clan net way out there before everything. They actually had a bunch of HPGs connected on a permanent ongoing basis, so they created an interplanetary internet, which would have been really cool and really useful for creating things. I do think just as a societal concept that, yeah, you had early 2003 internet at best. Yeah, I do think the clans, there's not enough conversations about the soft power that other castes would have, or just the diehard like worship and adherence that all of the trueborns who flunked out of Warriors would definitely be like worshiping and following the various blood houses almost in a royalty type sense, where if you were, from a Sibco, from this warrior that became Khan, you would follow that, you would worship that Khan, you would be like diehard into that. Not only that, but if you were, flucked out and you were the freeborn kid of some trueborns from a genetic legacy like that, like if you were somehow genetically related to a past Khan that was, glorious in the clan, you would probably have a higher position in clan society. And that sort of diehard fascination with the warrior class from the trueborn dropouts, in my opinion, is something that needs to be talked about as the way, the linchpin, the way that the warrior class maintains control of society. Because, yeah, how's my Marauder doing? Game, we're playing a game here. Advance the day. All right, we'll play this tomorrow. There we go. Just wanted to make a moment to wish you a happy winter holidays. Yep, December 6th. Yeah. Your dedication, strength, tone us all. Take care of yourself. Thank you for the kind words. We appreciate it. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's play this mission. Let's actually play the game. The warrior pass uses flunks as soft power influence. Yes. It's this weird dichotomy of the soft power influence from the trueborns, yes, but Also, there would definitely be the element as someone who's done contracting work, someone who's knows engineers and all these other things, like just the power of and the ability of someone to just slow down work when they don't like somebody. You know, that kind of soft power, that sort of manipulation, you know, where a warrior, you know, like a star colonel, someone who's in charge of a large force, would definitely understand the power that the person in charge, the tech in charge of their mech base, would have to sort of make things go faster or slower based off of treatment. You know, that kind of soft power respect of like, all right, we got to make sure these guys have rations. It's like, why? Because if they don't have rations, repairs will be down 15%, and that's bad. All right, I'm going to hit the start game button. A large enemy force is advancing towards a critical objective, and it is your responsibility to stop them. Your mission is to disrupt their advance by preventing at least 50% of their forces from reaching the opposite edge of the engagement zone. If they succeed in breaking through in large numbers, the consequences for our campaign will be severe. Expect a determined push, as the enemy will prioritize speed and aggression to force their way through. They may attempt to overwhelm your defenses with sheer numbers or concentrated strikes against weak points. You must hold firm, break their momentum, and deny them passage. Use the terrain, stagger defenses, and eliminate high-value targets to throw their advance into disarray. We will control the battlefield at the conclusion of this engagement, ensuring that any remaining enemy assets are left for us to claim or destroy. This is our ground. Stand fast, hold the line, and make certain they go no further. Industrial Center, they have a larger, more well-equipped core. Space Force, they have a larger force. Your employees deployed alongside you. Data Center, a detail of enemy scout mechs has been spotted. So they have a lot of bonus crap. That sucks. And I just realized something. The map is a pre-made map. So we might load this up and immediately have to restart because Tukia Diamond Shark is the map. Commence drop. Okay. All right, communications. Drop limit or just bring the heaviest stuff possible? So MegaMek, you can kind of implement drop limits. I just tend to bring individual lances and not worry about it. What MegaMek tends to do is balance forces based off of base BV, so not adjusted for pilot and gunnery, and readjust the enemy forces based off of the contract assignment. So if you are facing a veteran contract, pretty much every opponent you fight is going to be veteran level, and it's going to match your base BV, so you better hope your pilots are also veterans, because then it's going to be kind of even. It takes a little bit of practice to sort of understand what you're getting into to make it harder or, you know, easier based off of how you're playing and whatnot. MegaMek does the best it can, and there's lots of settings you can change to sort of customize it into the way you want to play. Yeah. Especially in the clans where if you don't work, you're basically dying. And then Diamond Shark are fake. You will die. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, Diamond Sharks. Oh, they've been using double blind. Okay, we need to check the game options here. We have exclusive hunt points. Yeah, we don't want exclusive zones. Now we're good. All right, let's see what this map is. All right, this is a weird river overflowing, interesting map. And we got to prevent them from going around. Well, look at all these sniper nest spots. That's going to be handy. I think we can have Hopscotch down here, Banana Peel down here, and Ergun and Edith up here sniping. If they're traveling north to south, which is my guess. Yeah, we're deploying up here. So, Edith, I'd love to deploy you right there. Excuse me. But there's a Wolverine. And that doesn't help us at all. I want to get Edith into those woods. So we're going to deploy her there, facing that direction. Gordana right there. Is this depth 0? Depth 0. Fantastic. So she doesn't have to worry about that. Hopscotch. Boom. Right there. And Ergun. I think right there. Just immediately pop into those woods. Boom. Alright. Let's take a look at our enemy forces. excuse me there for a second. We have a Manticore. Oh no, ew. A Warhammer. Ew. A Zeus. Ew. A Centurion. Man. A Griffin. Okay. A Phoenix Hawk, an Ostrok, and a Vedette. Nobody has a call sign, so nobody appears to be particularly experienced. So I think we're okay here for the moment. And we got a jam playing. Yeah. Alright, movement. First thing we want to do is we want to get our gun into these woods to snipe. We want to get Edith. This is Edith. Edith into these woods to snipe. Hopscotch. Where can you jump? Jump here? No, you want to just jump you here. Line of sight. Does that go through those woods? No, they do not. Fantastic. So yeah, we're going to jump you there into those heavy woods and shoot at that Manticore. And that Warhammer. Gross. Gordana Banana. We want to get you in a position here as a walk so you can see over these level 2s and shoot at things. Boom. Alright. Alright, they had an Ostrok flee to the north already? That's weird, but okay. Alright, so that Hunchback is a 4-5 AC-10. Alright, AC-10's less scary. Manticore, TMM2, PPC, 5-6, not worried. Alright, that Warhammer as a 4-5. How many hex? Oh, I wanted you. There we go. How many hex is that? 9 and 8. That doesn't make a difference. Yeah, Warhammer is gross because it has PPCs. That was a positive towards a Warhammer gross. Alright. Was that using solid? Yeah, I want to use solid. Let's try to get a PSR there. It's not going to have much that's open. Hopscotch. We want to go damage high, low. 6s, 4s. I think more guns on 6 is going to be better right now. Yeah, it's 15 possible damage on 6, and we are going to overheat just a smidge for 20 possible damage. Yeah, PPC is big. Intertech, 10 heat, 10 damage, long range. PPCs are very hard to beat in terms of efficiency. I mean, the one gun that I might argue is more efficient is the good old medium laser. Speaking of PPC, bam. That's actually a 4. That's a 5. 4 is still the better target. Medium laser, medium laser. And ooh, we do have Infernos for vehicles. Yes. On a 9, that would put us overheat. Let's reset this. How much Inferno ammo do we have? 15? We definitely want to shoot Infernos at vehicles. So, laser, laser, Inferno, Inferno. Excellent. PPCs are always good regardless of tech level. Yes. It's just extra emphasized because we're in 3025. Like, I was talking to some friends yesterday that there is an argument that I think is true that in a lot of ways, the good old classic PPC is still better than the clan ER PPC, specifically because it's easier to build things to efficiently use something for 10 heat for 10 damage than 15 heat for 15 damage, because 15 is a difficult number to find breaking points on. Alright, where were we? I gotta shoot things. I gotta shoot things and not just rant about BattleTech. I love ranting about BattleTech, don't get me wrong. But if I don't actually play this mission, I'm never gonna get out of here. Alright, Centurion on 1s. Zeus also on 1s. 5s? 7s? How's it 5s here? I don't know why it's 5s, but it is. Oh! I forgot! She has the super long range ability. That's her SPA. She shoots long range at +0. She swapped short and long modifiers. Yes. Fantastic. Which means she is this Phoenix Hawk on good numbers, potentially. and the heat for it. So, bam, 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 done. Quick chat, distract him. Yeah. Yep. All right. Shooting. Okay, Gordana gets hit with an AC5. Their gun hits with all of his guns. Fantastic. That's a PSR. The Hunchback needs 12, rolls 5, misses, so misses air gun. Accidental fires may happen here. Hopscotch is also shooting at that Warhammer. Hits with 3 medium lasers, 1 hit to the head. Head hits are nice. She's probably going to try to punch that thing in the face now, because multiple head hits are better than none. Long range heat, all the AC2s. So we have a local competitive league, and in the back of my head is the thought of just build something with a stupid amount of AC2s, just kind of to show that they might be viable, kind of to be annoying, kind of for the memes. Oh, here we go. Yeah, SRM, Inferno, hits. Driver injured, stabilizer destroyed. Second Inferno misses. Look at that. Alright, shots at the Marauder. Alarm 20 at the Zeus, hits with the first one, hits with the second one, gets a tack on an engine and a gyro. Ouch. That is fantastic. That is a good shot. And then a couple hit the medium. So Edith is doing great already. They're missing. Their gun does get hit by a PP. Oh, no, she doesn't get hit by a PPC. The bottom text makes me think he got hit, but then he doesn't. We do get a glancing blow from LRM 10 for 3 damage. Alright. And then scroll down. Warhammer stands. Zeus falls over. Zeus takes another... No, take 1 pilot hit. The Warhammer was the one that took the pilot. Alright. That is a good turn for us. And, yeah. Edith, I forgot that you got that super long range ability. You might be earning a nickname. You might be earning a call sign. Your gun, you probably shouldn't stand in the fire. You need to control your heat. So we're gonna walk you down there. You can torso twist and shoot. All right, longbow. You're in the spot you want to be in. You don't need to move at all. Gordana, you want to kick things, and you can't kick from that level 1, that depth 1 water. Boo. I know you want to kick things. I know you. Well, you'll move you there for TMM1, get you in position to do something else. Possible physicals next turn. Last but not least, Hopscotch. Can you get in punching range of that Warhammer? In fact, you can. With the level 2 behind you, so none of these guys should be able to shoot you in the back. Bam. Zeus falls over. This is the thing about Princess and MegaMek, which is Princess will pretty much always attempt to stand. And once you get a gyro hit and the thing keeps falling over, it's basically going to die. Just a painful death. It is like an animal in a sticky trap. So we should put it out of its misery. It is the humane thing to do. Longbow. There we go. 4s. Shoot. Shoot. And anything else in long range of those lasers that we can see? Sadly, no. So that's gonna be it. Their gun. Torso twist can only see this Hunchback. And so is going to shoot this Hunchback. I think with the medium lasers... Well, let's redo this. Okay. Hex distance is 6. It's going to be short range for the PPCs, medium range for the medium lasers. So yeah, PPCs and the LB. Done. Just the good old classic shooting. Alright, and we have Hopscotch here, who on 7s into this Warhammer. Already built up 7 heat. So maybe not the PPC, but definitely a couple of medium lasers. We'll keep you 2 over. We want her to punch the face of the Warhammer. This grasshopper, yeah. What's the distance? 8 hexes. So it is long range for the SRMs, but those would still be at 7. It is a grasshopper. This is intro tech, but it does have 22 heat sinks, so I don't think we need to worry about that. All right, we are going to PPC, medium laser, medium laser. And that's full, but yeah, let's fire 1 shot of SRMs, because that puts us 4 over. Won't affect our movement, and it is more damage. All right, longbow, into that Zeus. Just, yeah, 16 missiles hit. Blam. Missiles. Blam. Alright, ooh, we have an allied victor. We didn't look at our allies. We should do that in a second. Warhammer misses with all of its shots on your gun. Your gun hits a leg behind cover and 1 hit. So, only 10 damage. Boo. Warhammer Hopscotch hits with 2 medium lasers to the leg and the left torso rear. Okay. Gordana hits with the PPC, 1 medium laser, and the SRM into that grasshopper. So that's a good amount of damage right there. Lots of misses. Not much else to support until the grasshopper does fall. That's nice. The longer it takes for them to get to us, the more we can separate them out, the easier this will be to handle. And now we're at physical tech, so okay, nothing for your gun. We have double punches. Punches on 6s. We want more head hits on that Warhammer. You want to knock that pilot out. Gordana could kick trees, but she's not going to. And I guess we could kick trees there too. Alright. Miss and hit, which hits left torso rear, which is criticals, but not a head hit. Because remember, we control this, we can salvage things. I forget where our salvage percentage is, but we want salvage. And when things ammo explode, they don't always have salvage for you to grab. Easiest move? The longbow. Because it doesn't. Gordana, you definitely want to Inferno and kick that that vehicle. Their gun. Can you move down? No, you can't. You are stuck up there, and you're not going to move, and you're going to blast the crap out of that hunchback. Who do we have left? Oh, that griffin is jumping its way across. And might be getting free, sadly. The Warhammer did sprint. Warhammer can't shoot. We're going to jump up there, and we're going to try the same thing. We're going to try to punch it in its face. Alright. That would be the Zeus. All this question text, that's the Zeus. And the Zeus is blacked out. Yep. Alright, our gun. You want to kill that hunchback. You are going to fire everything. You're going to gain some heat, but that's okay. And we are in a spot. What is that hunchback's armor looking like? Still pretty open. You're not in the rear. You're on the left. Let's just do cluster. No, we're going to do solid shot. We're going to do solid shot. We want pure damage. Hopscotch. Laser, laser, laser. Done. Gordana. There's one easy option. You're going to fire your Inferno SRMs into a vehicle. Very simple. And a PPC. What you have? No. Lasers at that grasshopper, and yeah, machine guns at the vehicle because it's 0 heat and it's right in front of you. Done. And here we have the longbow, which can flip its arms to shoot behind, but that is a 14. Because short range is long range, and this tiny map is not doing us well in its orientation. We have vedettes getting shot at. We have a centurion over here, which probably needs some damage on it. It's getting shot at by those two. I believe that's a Victor and a Wolverine. Yeah. Victor is an AC 20. If you could look down here, you can see lower down, you can actually see the shots it's making. So we have an AC 20 on 10. So that's not likely to hit, but it is something. Grasshopper's not doing great. Being shot at by a bunch of stuff already. I do think that Grasshopper is a brick of armor, but what's in our laser range? The vedette at long. Okay. Let's go after that Grasshopper. It is a solid chunk of armor, and let's toss some lasers into that vedette. We got room for heat. Done. Bunch of searchlight stuff. Alright. Federated Sun's ally misses with AC 20, hits with medium lasers. Your gun hits with PPC, hits with PPC, hits with medium laser, hits with medium laser, hits with the solid shot, crit on medium laser. So it's just kind of spread around. Not a lot of concentrated fire opening up a location. Allied Warhammer hits the Grasshopper with a PPC. Hopscotch hits with all 3 medium lasers into that Warhammer, but does not break armor. Centurion and our allied Victor hits with AC 10, hits life support, which is not good. Alright, allied Warhammer hits with another PPC into the Grasshopper. Manticore misses with all but shots on your gun. Gordana Banana hits with the Inferno, but does not get anything. Then hits with the medium laser on the Grasshopper, hits with the machine gun on the vedette. Boo. That's from 6 Maturian. Hits with a head. Head hit for 2 hits. Longbow hits with the Grasshopper with both LRM-20s. Yay. Medium lasers also hit that tank, but no significant effect. Hunchback, which we really wanted to fall, needs a 9, rolls a 9. Boo. Grasshopper does fall, blacks out. Fantastic. Alright, your gun can't kick on a level 2 to the Hunchback, so skip. Hopscotch, we know you want to punch. You want to punch on 3s. Yes, punch that Warhammer in the face. Gordana wants the kick, gets the kick. Boom. And Longbow here can't do anything, so done. There we go. First punch, head hit. That's 2 hits. Second punch, hit, but no head. 1 internal structure remaining on that head. So, hi Chatter. She is drinking water right there. You can see her butt. Oh, you're thirsty, huh? She's very thirsty. Chatter. Hi. Puppy. Yeah. Come here. Oh, puppy. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You know what? I actually need this. This is just for music. So, let's set that down there. Say hello, Cheddar. Alright. Let's get back to it here. Yeah, so the Warhammer, the physical attack, Gordana does get the kick off. And done. Wow. Alright, initiative, we win. Oh, I forgot to look at the BV report. What are we looking at here? They're at 67. So we're pretty close to... Yeah, because they haven't like fled with one thing up north, not south. We're preventing them from going south, so we're okay. Cheddar best landsmate. Yes! Oh, she would bark and roof at the enemy all day, and they would run away in fear. She is an apex predator. Look at this creature. Look at this fearsome beast. Look at this fearsome beast who... I can't say the C-O-O-K-I-E word without her suddenly wanting one. Alright, where are we? Oh, the Warhammer is hiding from me. You know what? Here's a little trick we've forgotten about. Let our allies move. And you know what? I am in the wrong screen. I should be in the MegaMek screen so you guys can see little health bars. There we go. Anyway, let's let our allies move. So more of our enemies move. And we can position ourselves. Alright. All of our allies have moved. That Centurion is a bad spot. Hopscotch. Is this level? That's depth 1. Hopscotch cannot get in position to try and punch that Warhammer. Gordana cannot get in position, so that Phoenix Hawk is gone. She can try to do something, and that something I think is actually going to be to back up. Anticore. I think Airgun's gonna... Well, we're going to see what that Hunchback does. So, Hopscotch. I think you're going to jump... Yeah, what would Cheddar pilot if she was a pilot? That's an interesting question. What would you pilot? What would you pilot? I don't know. Alright. Gun, nothing's moved. Alright. Hopscotch. You need to make some sort of decision. And I think that is to go here and see if you can shoot and kick that Manticore. And that Hunchback may have been able to flee, which sucks. Alright. Move there. Torso twist can shoot the Manticore. Great. Okay. The Griffin fled. Hunchback didn't. Hunchback has disappeared somewhere. Curious. We can twist there and we can shoot that Manticore with PPC, skip, medium laser, and we want cluster now because this is a vehicle and we are in a side arc, so that's going to be a lot of potential criticals if we hit. If only there was a mech called the Green Bay, then the call sign could be Cheesehead. Yeah. Are you done? You want down? Do you feel happy on my lap? Still happy as a lap dog? No, you're a little wiggly. You get to go now. Love you. Oh, stretch your butt. Cheddar is off on some special mission now. Alright, longbow. Edith. What are you going to shoot at, Edith? This commando. That commando for sure. because it is in your medium range bracket. And if there's anything in sight in your long range bracket, no. Done. Alright, Gordana. I think you're going to want to shoot that vedette. Done. And hopscotch. Bunch of medium lasers at that manticore, but we're going to stay heat neutral. Let's see what happens. Commando, misses all the shots. Air gun hits with the PPC, the medium laser, and the LB cluster. Cluster for 6 pellets. And we have crew stun for 2 turns. That's 2 turns of that thing moving at half speed. Allied Victor does hit with the AC-20 into the Centurion. That is a critical hit on the foot. Do you melee a lot of a turkey mole? Do you melee a lot of a turkey mole? I don't know. Do you melee for a lot? Yeah. So melee damage is based off of the tonnage of the mech. So a punch is 1 damage per 10 tons. A kick is 1 damage per 5 tons. There's abilities, or SPAs that can increase that and play around with that. Mainly, it's just an extra phase and a chance to do extra damage, and that can be particularly punishing for heavier mechs to hit. Punches can also have a higher chance to hit the head, which is what we're going for a lot of this. It's just, you know, if you have a chance to deal 10 extra damage, you should try to do it, particularly if it doesn't cost you anything. All right, Warhammer hits with PPCs on the crippled grasshopper. Enemy Warhammer hits with PPC, enemy laser into the Allied Victor. Gordana hits with a medium laser and an Inferno. Turret jammed, crew stun for 1 turn. Okay, that makes it slower. Manticore does hit air gun with a PPC. That's 10 damage, so that might be the first damage air gun's taken. Their gun melee frequently for a green buzzard spy. Yeah, I mean, so the whole clans don't use melee thing is, again, it's part of the weird mix of clan narratives. I stated earlier, when it's a clan novel, the clans are flexible in their actions and they will do what it takes to win without sort of strict adherence to things. When it's an Innisphere-focused novel and they're fighting the clans are backwards and adhere strictly to doctrine without ever letting it go. Ergun, you have to also remember, he is a clan watch agent. He's essentially a spy, not necessarily someone he's trying to blend in, not necessarily holding on to outdated doctrines. So he would be fine using melee. But also, he's not using melee. His teammates are. And speaking of melee, we are entering the melee phase. So we're going to get a kick on that tank. And Gordana wishes she could kick, and Edith does not. We get a kick on the Manticore. Excellent. And we're about to see where we are BV-wise. 52%. 3 fled. That's not good. Because that's not fleeing. So we definitely... Yeah, 9 out of 12 units remaining, 75%. So 25% has fled. One of them fled north, interestingly enough. Alright, Ergun, I don't think you're going to get in much of a better position at the moment to handle something trying to flee. So you're going to skip movement. Edith and the longbow, you're going to skip movement. We now should hit the next player button here. It is hidden behind the bottom screen, but if I adjust my screen, we'll lose part of the HP display thingy up in the upper right hand. So we're not going to play around with the display windows for the moment. Oh, that Warhammer. All right. We are going to get behind it. And we're going to try to kick it in the back of the head. Although that might not actually work because the levels might be too great. Yeah, he's on level 2 and we're on level 4, so we can't kick it anymore. I messed up that. Alright, Gordana. He would definitely try to run forward and kick that stinger. Done. Air gun. Your shots are against that manticore. Boom. Done. Hopscotch. Well, you are shooting into the rear of that Warhammer. Let's try to take it out. Done. And obviously Gordana wants to take out that stinger because that stinger is a 696 and can potentially make it through. So we are going to not shoot Inferno. Well, we'll shoot one Inferno at it on 6. See what happens there. Done. Longbow. Longbow's going to go back at that Commando. But what's in medium laser long range? The Grasshopper. Fantastic. So we're going to LRM at the Commando. And then medium laser assault at that Grasshopper. Overheat by a little bit, but that's okay. Commando shoots at Gordana Banana and hits, but plenty of armor remaining. Not a big deal. Centurion gets hit with another AC-20 blast. Critical hit on the upper leg, on the left leg. Their gun does not kill that Manticore. That Manticore still has a lot of armor, but it's taking criticals, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. We have enemy Warhammer shooting medium lasers at the Wolverine and other things, dealing a bunch of damage, but that's our ally there to soak up damage, so that's okay. Oh, we have an ally Warhammer codenamed Cutie. I didn't realize that. We did not take a moment to look at our allies, and bam. Stinger hits Gordana with some stuff. Armor is still okay in all those cases. We have Hopscotch. Medium lasers into the rear of the Warhammer, and we got nothing. And Centurion, AC-10 at air gun, glancing blow, head hit, but re-rolled with edge, 2 edge remaining, 5 damage to left torso rear. I didn't realize that the Centurion was in air gun's rear. That's not good. Lots of misses from the Grasshopper. Alright. Gordana misses with... Well, okay, hits with one SRM, misses with the second. I mean, look at that. That's a lot of whiffs. That is 4 shots at 7. That's each one of those has a 50% chance, and she missed with every single one. Rolls 5, 5, 5, 4. Lovely. Wow, Gordana. Really, yep. Doing a thing. You have an LRM-20 hitting the Commando. We have another LRM-20 hitting Commando. Destroying the right torso. Hitting the leg, getting a double crit, and a bunch of lasers into that Grasshopper, and 2 critical chances, no crits, double engine crit. That's beautiful. Edith is doing nicely. Commando falls, Grasshopper stands, Centurion stands, and we do not have a kick here because we are on the wrong level, sadly. We do have a kick here, and that's what we wanted. Kick on 5. Do it. And no physical there. Stinger does kick Gordana. That's fine. Wolverine kicks the enemy Warhammer. Enemy Centurion kicks a Wolverine. Gordana does kick the Stinger, destroys a leg. Fantastic. That's exactly what we want. We do not want that thing moving. Stinger automatically falls. Boom. They are at 33% BV. 4 fled. When did it flee? How are 4 things have fled when it was 3 things just recently? All right. Go to round 5. It's the movement phase. Yep, the hunchback fled. Boo. Round 4. Griffin fled. That's 2 things. Go back here. Movement phase. Yada yada yada. That Zeus is still blacked out up there. The Phoenix Hawk fled. That's 3. Okay, 3 fleds, and they had 1 thing flee to the north. BV wise, Grasshopper. The Zeus is still somewhere unconscious. So I'm gonna call this the last turn. No, I mean, I don't know if we can call that just yet. We'll see what happens. Because in theory, we're getting to the point where we would ask them to surrender. Longbow, skip movement. Hitting the next player button. That Warhammer can't make it off. That Manticore can't make it off. That Stinger lost a leg. That Vedette is stunned. That Commando, I think, also took some leg crits and isn't making off. That Grasshopper took engine hits, is almost dead. If we can get rid of that Grasshopper or make it immobile otherwise. I mean, that Centurion also took a lot of damage. Yeah, upper leg and foot damage. It can't move much of anywhere. Like, no. This is a point where I'd say you got like surrender, because we have them. I'm calling it. Like everything. That Zeus would not be, but flees to the north. It ran away. All right, that's fine. All right, back to Mech HQ. We control the battlefield. Relatively resized. This is relatively undamaged. Yep. Okay, Centurion did not escape. Warhammer did not escape. Grasshopper did not escape. Vedette did not escape. And Manticore definitely did not escape. So we have a max of 20% salvage. The salvage in this contract sucks. So what would we take right now? Can we flip over here and see our stuff? Can we salvage the Warhammer? No, we can't. Centurion, Grasshopper, Vedette, Manticore, Stinger, Commando. All right. Whatever. So the total value salvage is for the contract, not for the mission. So if we don't use it and we get another mission with salvage, we can make up for what was not gained here. So honestly, because we can't salvage the Warhammer, if we go over our salvage percentage, we have to pay it back. And we're not, if I remember correctly, yeah, 39 million C-bills. We're not exactly rich. So we're just going to skip all that salvage. Commando, that was Edith. Stinger, that was going to be Gordana. There we go. All right. So Grasshopper, Manticore, not the Phoenix Hawk. There was an enemy Ostra. Oh, that's the one that fled north. Commando, yes. Stinger, yes. Vedette, yes. Warhammer. There we go. And Centurion. Boom. Those guys all surrendered. Finish. Yeah. 2 missions and it's 7:55. Let's see if we can wrap up this contract, right? Because this is an objective raid. If we can get the objective, we technically have 2 months left of this contract, but we'll see if something we can consider the objective pops up. In the meantime, yeah, we didn't really lose much armor. Oh, banana pudding is great. What do we have XP for everybody? Not a lot of, not the most XP experience to make, yeah, parts missing. Order all. There we go. Missing some armor again, but we should hopefully be getting armor soon. Employee turnover check. Okay. Nobody wants to leave. Happy New Year! Great year ahead. Yes. I just got word that an auction is happening in the next few hours, Captain. Most of the lot is junk, stripped chassis, damaged gear, nothing worth the time. But there's a Scorpion light tank. No, I don't care about a Scorpion light tank. We've got ammo coming in. First of the month. Which means... Oof. She suffers a headshot. She'll be banana pudding. Yeah. Your standing decreased. Your standing with the mercenary before decreased. How did their standing... How did it... That's interesting. Federated Suns, Draconis Combine has both increased at the same time. What? I'm confused by that. This is confusing. No special event. Unit market. What do we have for mechs? We have a Hunchback. Assassin, Crusader, Stalker, Awesome, Victor. Yeah, nothing. Vehicles, a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, LRM carriers. But aerospace fighters, large vessels, infantry. Yep. Alright. Nothing we need to buy. We got 4 million C-bills, profits, debited, yada yada. Okay. Maintenance. So this is the first of the month. Warning, the political climate is affecting how factions view you. The Compelling Confederation, -18. The Draconis Combine, -18. Federated Suns, 6. Lywan Commonwealth, 6. Majesty of Canopus, 6. Outward Alliance, 6. The Taurian Concordat, -18. Alright. Did I war crime? I don't know. I mean, who doesn't war crime? This is BattleTech, but still, like... There we go. Captain, employer is the delivery ready for us, but is offering to expand if we can supply our own transports. They're offering estimated delivery of 16 tons if we can provide our own vehicles. Otherwise, it will just be 4 tons. I've checked our table of operations and equipment. We have around 4 to 3 tons. Yes, use the unit's convoy. Boom. But Captain, we might be able to lead a little bit of contract, ask them to focus on specific types of supplies. This will be the cost of overall supply quantity. Right now we need armor. So I'm going to say give us more armor. Your supplies requested by your unit have been shipped and are in transit with both sides evenly matched. Standard protocols for receiving and inventory verification should be followed. The delays are possible. This supply will cost blah 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 C-bills. The value of supplies is that much. We have armor and rations and mech operator clubs. Yep. Note, items in italics are roleplay items and not tracked by Mech HQ. If your resupply seems smaller than expected, it's possible your warehouse is well stocked and your employer or smuggler withheld supplies. Alternatively, your negotiator may have performed poorly when negotiating for resources. Your negotiator is normally your senior-most admin/logistics character. However, interactions with smugglers use your campaign commander instead. Alright, accept. Speaking of, we should go to personnel, all active personnel, and check experience and see admin logistical. And can you increase your skills? Forgery, roleplay, nope, nothing. Alright, we tried. Okay. We got armor, so we should be able to repair. Yep, repairs are happening. And longbow needs ammo. Marauder needs ammo. Let's see what pops up. as we continue to advance days. We have armor that arrived, maintenance that's happened. Yada yada yada. Hey, ammo! Yay. We're flying through time. New month already. Gordanda might want to leave. What's going on? Enemies leaving ground. Understood. Oh. Just got word that an auction is happening in the next few hours, Captain. Most of the lot is junked. Strip chassis, damaged gear, nothing but time. But there's a longbow 7Q. Yeah, I'll put a support point, 2 support point bids onto that. Bid successful. Secure the longbow. The chassis is in better shape than anticipated. Yeah. We should have the hangar within 3 days. We got a longbow for like no cost. Actually, we did lose some money. We were at like 40 something, but that's fine. What mechs are up for sale now? MegaMek, no. Champion, no. Osol, we have them. Ooh, a cicada. I do like cicadas. That might be better in our secondary force. We are trying to bring up to a company. Yeah, secondary lance right now is 2 awesomes, a wyvern, and a phoenix hawk. Not jumping phoenix hawk. So we could actually... Yeah, we could upgrade from that wyvern. We could upgrade from that wyvern. Oh! Hey look! A lamb! Oh boy. No. I think I do want the cicada. We are eventually going to need a scouting force. And cicada's going to do it. We're going to buy it. Done. Also, we hate Doc. So eventually we will need more mech warriors, but here we go. Use unit convoys, balanced. Accept. Uh-oh. Our convoy was attacked. Emergency convoy defense. Hawkman blocking Op 4, 1000 BV. Pursuing Op 4, 1000 something BV. Recon mechs, 700 BV. That's so low because our support convoy here has a BV of 1000 and like nothing. So we are going to have to go here. Send reinforcements. It's going to be our secondary lance here on patrol. Commit, and we are going to put in as many support points as we can, which is honestly just once. Alright. Let's try it. Great. I don't know when they're going to arrive. So, mission is tomorrow. This is going to be our last mission of today. Emergency convoy defense. Let's do it. Your ground convoy is being cornered by an aggressive enemy elements intent on cutting off your supplies and crippling our logistics. The convoy is carrying essential resources for your operations, and its loss would be a severe blow. Your primary objective is to ensure the convoy reaches the opposite edge of the engagement zone while simultaneously routing the enemy by destroying at least 50% of the forces. The enemy is executing a relentless pursuit, attempting to isolate and destroy the convoy before it can escape. If they are not routed here, they will continue striking at our logistics, inflicting immeasurable damage over time. Prioritize extracting the convoy, but if necessary, sacrificing the supplies is acceptable if it means crushing the enemy force beyond recovery. We will control the battlefield at the end of the engagement, and they have a bunch of extra stuff. Alright! What? Alright, whatever. Alright, nameplate isn't going to work, so we'll turn all that off. Alright, here we go. And let's turn that off. Okay. Done. And sadly, our reinforcements won't arrive until turn 8. But also, it looks like it's night, and oh gosh, this terrain. What are we looking at here? What even is this? Vehicles are supposed to get through this? Oh boy. Alright. Alright, so we have a Maxim hover and a buffalo. Buffalo does hover as well. Okay, that's kind of handy. I think the obvious route is through this canyon. So we're going to do that. Alright. And they can just pop up right on top of us. Okay, that's nice. And because it's night, there's limits of what we can do. Alright. And that stinger jumps. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Reckless. What if we reckless? Does it help us? No, it doesn't. Great. Yep, stinger just jumped up there. Move. We need 5s. No. Alright, we do have some amount of guns that we're going to alpha strike into that stinger. Done. And let's see what happens. Let's see what the pain is. Oh, the buffalo. I gotta skip firing with the buffalo. The buffalo doesn't have anything. Misses. 1 medium laser hits, and that's it. Oh yeah, because the conditions suck right now. Physical attacks, none. A single kick of 4 damage has immobilized my buffalo hover truck. Okay. Alright, buffalo hover truck. Eject. Abandon the unit and run away. Maxim hover truck, run. Yep. Done. Maxim, what's in the turret? Machine guns and an SRM. So we're gonna rotate. Fire the SRMs behind. See if we can hit on 11s. Yeah, we'll try it. Done firing. Alright, they miss. Physical attacks. Nothing. Done. Vehicle crew destroyed by extreme temperatures. Yeah, that's not right. We'll undo that at the end report here. All right, Maxim hover transport thingy. We need you to move there. That is going to be needs a 5. What about if we move you there? Double 5. That would be out of sight. Or actually, just there is out of sight of most things. No, we're gonna risk it. We're gonna risk it. Yeah! Safety! No shots. Done. Done. Move there. There we go. A locust appeared. We're gonna alpha strike that locust with whatever we got that could possibly hit it. And everything missed. But it did not manage to shoot us or do anything. Because it is dark out. 3 turns before reinforcements arrive, and we have to kill everything. Just, I'd say run in a straight line, but that's not a straight line. Let's do that. There we go. Oh, butts. Whenever we can hit that locust, hit that locust. Done. Alright. Hover thingy still alive. Still making magic happen. And I think it's going to struggle to make more magic happen. Sadly, that would be the most defensive move. That puts me in a bad position for future turns. I think right there is my best move. So I can't. I have to go around this valley. I have to make it into here. But they're all there. All right, we're doing it. Do you survive, Maxim? One half MP. Okay, okay, it's alive. It's alive. Half MP is more than none. Except you can only move literally 1 hex in front of you. Alright, you are also going to eject and surrender. There you go. And then the vehicle crew is technically going to die because they're out in the cold, yada yada yada. Yep, story of extreme temperature. We're gonna erase that. And now we deploy from over here. One awesome. 2 awesomes. A Phoenix Hawk. And a Wyvern. So anyone who was here last time might be able to recall that Wingman and Doc are awesome pilots. Kind of suck. I mean, they had decent numbers and you just kept missing because they just refused to do everything. We have, I forget her name in the Wyvern, but she is a smart cookie and she did a decent job. But mainly, it was Winch here in the Phoenix Hawk that was the hero. So this is our second time deploying Winch. Let's see what happens. You got no shots at anyone. Their sensor marks are all over there. Let's pop these awesomes on these mountains. And continue from there. Run forward, Wyvern. And run forward, Phoenix Hawk. No sensor hits. Anywhere. Phoenix, so Taigia says Phoenix Hawks are top 5 medium. Ooh, I mean, some Phoenix Hawks are good. Some Phoenix Hawks are absolute dog crap. In terms of intro tech, I think that still applies. Like this Phoenix Hawk. Actually, don't even know which Phoenix Hawk this is. Phoenix, this is Doesn't tell me which kind of Phoenix Hawk this is, but large laser, medium laser, medium laser, small laser, 6.9, 13 heat sinks. That's okay. 2, 3. Oh. That's 4. That's foliage. That doesn't actually provide too much of a bonus. I mean, we should just walk forward 3 if no path actually provides us more than 3 movement for TMM purposes. Alright, speaking of, we have our Wyvern here. Large laser on 14s. No, LRMs on also 14s. No shots. Winch. Winch, we like you. We want you to do good. What do you have? You have a 12, you have a 10 on a large laser, or a 10. 10 into a stinger. If the stinger gets hit by 8 damage, it's going to be a lot more effective than other things. Alright. PPC's on 14 from Doc. What is going on here? We have 3 gunnery skill, +2 full moon night, -2 target using searchlight, +1 moderate snowfall, +1 blowing sand, +2 attacker rand long range. Yeah, so this is another weather conditions make it suck kind of map. Alright, awesomes. Stay still. Try to get some shots. That's your goal. Look, the stinger's moving forward. Great. Alright, Wyvern. I think you'd move there so you can have back shots on the stinger at 3 hexes, which is short range. Yep. It does put you on the second stinger. Winch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. TMM2, back of the dragon. Boom. Alright. TMM3 on the locust in the rear. Even at short range, that's still 11. Alright. And SRM on 11? No. Alright, awesomes. What shots do you have? On the locust, 9. On the dragon, 8. Yes. You're gonna just blast the crap out of that dragon. Done. Alright, Winch. You are a hero. We should move the medium lasers into the torso, I think, so that it can punch. There we go. Done. See what happens. We have 2 PPCs hit from Doc. Already doing better than last time. Lots and lots of missing. Wingman misses? Yeah, Wing misses with everything. Winch misses with everything. Physicals. Come on, Winch, get the kick. Get the kick. We do get the kick, but it stands. Awesome. Stand still. That's your job, just to stand still and shoot things and try to actually hit them. Grace. Grace the smart cookie. Let's save her for last, actually. What's the dragon have? A couple of guns with minimum range is what it has. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't move 5. Three, 4. Yep, we're gonna do it. Yep, you do that. Alright, awesomes. Nothing in short range, medium range on the Stinger 10s or the Dragon 7s. We're just trying to kill enough of them that they run. That Dragon might be a decent chunk of their BV. Yeah, 1,000 when they only have 3,000. Next awesome. Shooting on 10s, 11s, 9s. There we go. Shoot that Griffin on 9s. Boom. Alright, small SRM. Done. Winch. Laser. Small laser. Done. Alright, Doc. PPC hit. That's 2 hits. Fantastic. Wingman. Misses with everything. The Dragon fires an AC-5 at Doc. Hits. LRM. Hits. Awesome, still have a lot of armor. Winch does hit a glancing blow against the leg. 7 armor remaining. Okay. But right now, we are going to get some kicks. Nothing. There we go. Alright, Dragon. So Grace gets a double critical hit on the left leg, on a foot and a hip. The Dragon does get a kick in against Grace. Winch does get a kick in against that left leg still. 3 internal structure remaining. Stinger does get a kick against Winch. Alright. Both of our guys stand. The enemy Dragon does fall. Alright. 87%. Alright. Let's keep going. Awesomes, don't move. It is cold out. It is harder for you to overheat. You are just firing PPCs. That's all you need to do. Just stand still and shoot. Stand still and shoot. That was interesting. Alright. Grace. Grace can jump. Does Grace want to jump somewhere? Yes, she does, but where she doesn't know. Winch. One, 2, 3. Can you do that? No. 1, 2, 3. Can you do that? Yes. You want to at least get 1 TMM and get adjacent to that prone dragon. If it will... There we go. That took a second. It's thinking. Machine is thinking. Jump. Griffin. Boom. Speaking of, alright, start with the awesomes. Griffin on 9, Dragon on 10, Locust on 8. Yeah, shoot that Locust on 8. You hit, it's dead. Next awesome. Wingman. Wingman who hasn't hit a shot yet. I don't want to waste too many shots into the Locust. Alright, Wingman, see if you can actually hit that Griffin with a single shot this time. Winch. You are shooting into a prone dragon at -2. This is the moment to gain some heat. And Grace. Large laser. Small laser, small laser. Let's build up a little bit of heat and fire that SRM. Done. Here we go. Shots. Alright, Wingman does actually hit with a single laser. Doc misses with all of his PPCs on 8. Look at that. Wow, that's some terrible rolls. It's a Locust. You need to hit with 1. Wingman. I guess you out of 6 shots with about a 25% chance to hit, you hit with 1. I guess that's even odds, but still, that's disappointing. Winch gets a bunch of hits on the dragon. Nothing overly impressive. Grace only hits with the SRM. Does get a head hit, so that's nice. And it does say standing. Physical phase. Kick. Kick. No kick. Alright, the Locust does get a kick against Winch. Grace does get the kick. It gets a critical against the Griffin, so that's nice. The Griffin does get the kick against Grace. Goes internal, no critical. Winch destroys the right arm. And gets damage to the right torso of the dragon. So that's a weapon gone. And everybody succeeds on the piling save, so nobody falls. Alright. They are 85. Nope, they are at 48%. Yes. Wait, no. Yeah, no, there we go. Overall, Team 2. 78%. We're at 85. Never mind. We still got to go. Really, we should draw them closer to the awesomes is what we should do. So, Grace, that's a smart move. You recognize smart moves. So, you're going to move there. Winch, you're going to move there. Turn that way. Again, we're trying to bait them closer to the awesomes because we want better numbers with our awesomes. The dragon does not stand up. Okay, Doc and Wingman, can you actually do something decent for once? Stinger on 10. Stinger on 7. Alright, Doc, can you kill that Stinger? Done firing. Wingman, what do you got? Stinger on 10s, Dragon on 10s, Stinger on 7, and Griffin on... So let's fire at that Stinger. Like, I want to try to make better shots at better targets, but they seem to not be able to hit anything. Grace, Stinger, Dragon, Stinger. You've got some heat buildup, so let's do laser, and that's it. It'll cool you off this turn. And Winch, boo, zoom down accidentally. There you go, Winch. Large laser on 11. We'll do it. Done. See if we get a lucky roll. There we go. Doc destroys the right arm. Hits with all 3 shots on 7. What is this? You finally hit with all 3 shots. Destroyed the leg. There we go. Fantastic. Then Wingman hits with 1 of the shots. Destroys the left torso. Alright. And nobody... And the Stinger dies. Destroys itself with its fall. Alright. And we have a punch there for 10. That's fine. We'll try it. No physical attacks there. Nope. Alright. Punch misses. Kick. 4 internal structure remaining on the right leg in the Wyvern. So the Wyvern is going to keep running out. Except it fell. Why does it need a 9? Oh, she's on ice. Oh. Well, let's take the BV report. There's 67%. Well, Grace, thankfully, is in a position where she's hidden from multiple angles. So let's let the awesomes not move. See what the enemy does. Grace is on ice, which means she is going to struggle to stand. Like, if you look up... Yeah, she has... Yeah, ice. Thin snow. Didn't realize that spot was ice. It's kind of hard to see when it's so dim. She is a 4-5. She is not going to get up without a careful stand. And if she careful stands, she's going to be in a worse position to be shot. The Locust here can shoot at her, but that Locust probably just has almost nothing for guns, if that will pop up. Yeah, 2 machine guns and medium laser. I think she can survive that, so she's going to skip moving. Winch can't get in position to shoot the Locust, sadly, because the Locust is adjacent to some interesting terrain. But yeah, we're gonna go up there and we're gonna keep going after that dragon because we really don't have a better option. Alright. You have so many guns in your right arm. So that's where you're going to fire. Right torso. Done. Alright, you guys. Alright, you can't see anything else but that dragon, so shoot the dragon. Wingman, what do you have in your sense range? Can you shoot the griffin? No. You can't shoot the dragon, so you're going to shoot the dragon. Done. And winch. You are also going to shoot the dragon. With everything. Kill that thing. Yes. 1 PPC hit. Ammo explosion. Dead. Alright. That should probably be it. Let's see it. 53%. Ah! This is going to be the last turn. There's no way we don't get at least 3% of them dead. Bang. Shoot that stinger. Yeah, kill that locust. Kill that locust. That locust is an relatively easy shot. You know what? Let's also shoot that stinger. Either one. It doesn't matter what we hit, because we're probably going to kill all of it. And then we're going to alpha strike here into that griffin. See what happens. Alright, Grace is okay in the wyverns right now. 3 internal structure remaining on the center torso rear here. Right leg, critical heat in the heat sink. Okay, that's not what I was hoping for. Stinger, 2 internal structure remaining on that stinger there. And bunch of misses. Okay. But they've taken enough. That should be 3%. No punch. Skip. $50.22. 17 rounds. One more. One more. There we go. Do that. Done. Alright. Grace can't shoot anything because she's prone. Awesomes can't shoot the locust. Stinger. 3 shots on 11. Done. Wingman. Also 3 shots at 11. Done. Okay. Winch. Alpha strike. Alpha strike into this thing. You need to hit with something. That's all you need. Misses, 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 misses. Whoa. Son of a gun. Please tell me that's worth 0.2%. No. No, it's not. Ooh. Get up. Careful stand. Move. It's on a 6. Let's try it. Try it, Grace. You did it. And then we're going to run up and try to kill that locust. Done. Fantastic. Awesome. Number 1. Doc. We've got a griffin on 9s and a locust on 10s. The griffin is barely taking any damage. So, yeah, I mean, the right leg is almost gone, but 9s are 28%. 10s are 17%. Alright, Doc, can you redeem yourself here? Because you've been sucking. Wingman, what do you got? The griffin? Let's try you. Well, you try the griffin. Done. Grace. Shoot that stinger. Kill that stinger. And then winch. You're going to alpha strike again. It's going to put you way over heat. But let's see what happens. Alright, nothing bad for us. Doc misses with everything. Again. Locust hits with stuff, but nothing too scary. Wingman does hit, but not particularly effective. Griffin hits, not particularly effective. Grace misses with everything. And Winch connects with 2 guns, but they both are glancing blows, so nothing actually happens. But that should be, I think, the 0.03% or whatever the heck we needed to succeed here. All right, done. Are they below? Yes, 48.1/victory. Done. All right, give me 1 second. All right. We will wrap this up here. Fantastic. So, if I hadn't had the convoy units eject, then Princess would focus them down and destroy them. But because I ejected here, you can see that it's heavy damage and heavy damage. So, that's why I did that. Go to next and see. Nobody's killed in action now all of a sudden. So I guess the game itself was, you know, yeah, no, none of that. All right, we're gonna sell the Griffin. Boom. Captured, killed, yada yada. The Stinger, I am giving that to nobody. Oh, the Dragon, yeah, was the awesome. Wingman. The Stinger, I'm gonna give that to Wingman. We got the resupply back. Done. We got that. Done. Victory. Finish. Purple heart for Grace. Yay. Alright. I'm going to call it there. So thank you everybody who stopped in. Thank you everybody who stayed, participated in chat, distracted me with conversations about lore and the clans. Yeah, this is a universe I am familiar with and have strong opinions about. Feel free to come back and ask me questions. In 2 weeks, I will be back with another episode of Monday Night MegaMek. I am also tempted, very tempted at some point to just do bonus streams when I play. I actually have my personal campaign open in a completely other window right now. So this is the campaign I've been playing with. If you notice, the user interface is a lot smaller, because I don't play with the user interface at 160% when it's just me. But this is a different version of Ergun, you know, who's in a custom Turkina, and we have all kinds of fun stuff. I am operating a full trinary in a bunch of missions. So this is what's going on with me right now, fighting Hell's Horses. Tons of fun. I play a lot of MegaMek. So, like I said before, thank you everybody for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful night. I hope to see some of you back here in 2 weeks. For anybody watching the VOD, please like, please subscribe, please leave comments in there. What you think, what could I improve, what would you like to see, any questions you have about MegaMek, and I will try to answer them when I can. If you haven't yet, check out our podcast, the Odysseus Legion podcast, where we talk about competitive play of the actual board game itself. The podcast episodes are also on our YouTube channel, so check that out. And yeah, toodles.